Congressman Pete Sessions of Texas, who also sits on the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform. Congressman, good morning. You heard Mills in the same committee that launched an investigation into what could have happened to the scientist. You sent out letters to several government agencies asking for more transparency surrounding these strange deaths. What have you learned so far?
Anna, thank you very much and good morning. I think it's important to note that this is an issue that I really want to thank the media for. This has been driven primarily by the media to not only bring our attention to this, but to really point up the nature of this and how many are involved. As the chairman of government operations for the Oversight Committee, I have begun not only formal discussions with the administration, but have talked with them about putting together this effort. It is across the United States Air Force, the Army, the Navy. It is with the CIA. It is with the FBI. It is with Pentagon investigators. And in fact, it is an issue, and it's an issue that, as you just previously heard from a former FBI agent, they are starting at ground zero. But I think the power here also is that we are now aware of this, and people who have been associated with the nuclear program need to make sure that we are not just on the case, but concerned about them also. And so it's more than a red flag. It's an alarm that is going off with us so that we can then get closer to protecting the next asset, the next people who are involved. The bottom line is there is no real connection except nuclear programs appear to be at the basis. So most of these people probably may not have even known each other, but someone does seem to know the inside of this. And I think it's interesting that we're learning that China has perhaps a similar issue.
Yeah, it's raising a lot of questions, and I hope you get those answers, sir, and please come back on the show when you do. I do want to move on to Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. He's holding a Pentagon press conference in less than an hour. We're taking a live look at the podium where he will be taking stage very soon. What have you heard of leadership changes, Congressman, at the Pentagon after Navy Secretary Phelan was ousted this week?
Well, I think that we're all pretty aware in Congress, and certainly the Armed Services Committee, certainly Rick Crawford, who's the Intel chairman, would be one of the first to say that when you get in war, there is a fog not only on the ground, but also in the Pentagon and other intelligence agencies. And this is just created as a result of trying to move things forward. It appears as though this time it was simply a personality battle. It was a battle between perhaps someone that did not fit as well as they wanted. And over time, that tends to wear itself down. So did it come at a correct time? I don't really have that visibility yet. Is it something that Pete Hegseth, I'm sure the president, need to be more clearly aware of, that when you have this kind of disruption during a war, during something of a conflict like this, its appearances cause more questions.
The 60-day deadline expires next week, Congressman. Where does Congress stand on the president's war powers? How will you vote, sir?
Well, first of all, the votes are not there except to kill it. And that is not the correct effort we need. We need for the House of Representatives, we need the United States Senate, we need it to appear that we can pass this on a bipartisan effort. But there are at least 3 major bills that sit before Congress, and we are in one more week. The votes were the weeks of recess were switched. And there's a lot on our plate. There's a lot on our plate that we must get done, notwithstanding that we've got funding issues and we have the issue certainly with FISA that must be one way or another resolved, either extended, but we cannot allow these to slip through. They are essential issues, especially when you have Homeland Security shut down. The national security comes into play without any question, Hannah. And we have a responsibility, an authority and a responsibility to support and defend our, not just the Constitution, but the underpinnings of the way of life that we have here. And the men and women of our intelligence organizations and military, they're doing a behemoth job.
We have the best military in the world, no doubt about that. Congressman Pete Sessions, thank you so much for coming on today.
You bet.